So what do you do when your credibility to insist the British public must continue to follow draconian legal curbs on their civil liberties and freedoms has been well and truly crushed? Introduce even more restrictions, of course. COVID Plan B is a horror show of vaccine passports, mask mandates, work from home orders, and even a national conversation about mandatory vaccination.
We will reintroduce the guidance to work from home. Employers should use the rest of the week to discuss working arrangements with their employees, but from Monday, you should work from home if you can. Second, from this Friday, we will further extend the legal requirement to wear a face mask to most public indoor venues, including theatres and cinemas. Third, we'll also make the NHS COVID pass mandatory for entry into nightclubs and venues where large crowds gather, including unseated indoor venues with more than 500 people, unseated outdoor venues with more than 4,000 people, and any venue with more than 10,000 people.
This unfathomable decision by Boris Johnson's government today, as they failed to distract the public from a storm of revelations surrounding last year's Downing Street Christmas party following that leaked footage of his then spokeswoman, Allegra Stratton, who carefully quit today, joking about the bash in a practice press conference.
Would the Prime Minister condone having a Christmas?
What's the answer?
I don't know.
It wasn't a party, it was cheese and wine.
Just be clear, it's not.
Is cheese and wine all right?
No.
It was a business meeting.
I'm joking.
This is recorded. His fictional party was a business meeting. And it was not socially distanced.
I understand the anger and frustration that people feel. To all of you who lost loved ones, who endured intolerable loneliness, and who struggled with your businesses, I am truly sorry. And this afternoon, I am offering my resignation to the Prime Minister. Thanks for your time.
Having spent all week denying the existence of such a party, Boris this afternoon threw his staff under the bus, issued a grovelling apology, and launched an investigation by the Cabinet Secretary Simon Case, even though he might have attended the non-party himself.
Understand and share the anger up and down the country at seeing Number 10 staff seeming to make light of lockdown measures. And I can understand how infuriating it must be to think that the people who have been setting the rules have not been following the rules, Mr. Speaker, because I was also furious to see that clip. And, Mr. Speaker, I apologise unreservedly for the offence that it has caused up and down the country, and I apologise for the impression that it gives.
The sad reality is that Boris Johnson's once great premiership is facing its choppiest waters, with even the leader of the Scottish Tories, Douglas Ross, suggesting the Christmas party could end up becoming a resignation matter.
If the Prime Minister knew about this party last December, knew about this party last week and was still denying it, then that is the most serious allegation. And there's absolutely no way you can mislead Parliament and think you would be able to get off with that. And that would be a matter not just for me, but I would have thought Lindsay Hoyle as the Speaker of the House of Commons and many, many others would be raising. Misleading Parliament in that way is completely unacceptable, and no one should continue in their posts if they mislead Parliament in that way.
OK. I accept all of that, and I accept that the Downing Street Christmas party is a scandal and it is enraging. But what's far more disturbing is the government's addiction to the power and control of further COVID curbs. To introduce Plan B at the start of December, when there has not been one proven death from the Omicron variant anywhere in the world, is the worst sort of overreach. We are sleepwalking into a fundamental realignment of the relationship between government and the people. And I say hell no to that. Keep away from my life and my liberties. I've had enough. The arrogance of introducing more controls on the British people at a time when we know the Prime Minister's own officials have been laughing in the faces of those of us who stupidly followed the draconian restrictions is a bridge too far for me. With even COVID hysterics like Joe Biden and CNN urging calm in light of a lack of information about Omicron, Boris and our government, enabled by the Grinch-like doomsday scientists, seem to be running around like headless chickens. The real-world implications of their proposed measures are horrifying. Plan B is estimated to cost £18 billion, knocking 2% of GDP. And remember, more poverty equals more deaths. Working from home will be the final nail in the coffin for many struggling inner-city businesses. And vaccine passports will slash the profits of the hospitality industry by a predicted 25%, killing off many pubs and restaurants already on life support in the process. Remember, this is the very same Boris Johnson who said in 2004 of ID cards, "I will take that card out of my wallet and physically eat it in the presence of whatever emanation of the state has demanded that I produce it. If I am incapable of consuming it whole, I will masticate the card to the point of illegibility." Why are you doing this now, then, Boris? Even Nicola Sturgeon has conceded there is no evidence vaccine passports work. Meanwhile, we're a country where 95% of adults now have COVID antibodies. Incredibly, did you know this? It's 98% of the over 75s. By far the age group most at risk from serious illness or death from COVID. COVID cases occupy just 5% of hospital beds, not even close to overwhelming the NHS. We always knew that variants were coming, and while Omicron might spread faster so far, it appears to actually be far less severe. So for all the talk of learning to live with COVID, Boris's behaviour today suggests anything but. That's why the snaring Stratton footage showing this government is taking the piss out of all of us should be a game changer in how we behave. We should not continue to sacrifice key moments of our lives when we know those in power will not do the same. As the Tory MP Charles Walker, a freedom fighter by the way, said, the number 10 party means that any future lockdowns will be advisory, whatever the law says. Now look, I understand. Some of you are annoyed that I am furious with Boris Johnson about this complete and utter mess. But I am not here to fight for Boris or any politician or any political party for that matter. I'm here to fight for you. If we don't say enough is enough now, then let me tell you, we are entering the hellscape of lockdowns and restrictions on human rights every single winter. I refuse. And that's why I will resist.